Now guys, this is so important. You need to do this well in advance. Don't wait 2 days before your covered period is over to do this. If you do it with enough time in advance, we can actually use these numbers and help you as business owners to make educated decisions for your business. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're passionate about helping people with business and accounting. In today's video, I want to take a dive and walk through the PPP application for sole proprietors and independent contractors. But before we can actually go through the application, I want to show you where you can access it for yourself. So let's head over to Google, and in the search bar, I want you to type in US Treasury PPP. And then make sure that you're selecting the treasury.gov site. From there, it's going to take us to the U.S. Department of Treasury website. I want you guys to scroll down. For borrowers, select Loan Forgiveness Application. Now click on that PDF, and there you can download the PPP application. I recommend that you print it off and read through it. And now let's jump into the application and start filling this out. So as you can see here on my screen, I have a split view of the PPP application and an Excel spreadsheet that I created. So I created this Excel spreadsheet to be the cover page for our documentation when we submit it to our lenders. It's actually the application. It's page 3. If we scroll to page 3, this is where the majority of the information that is going to be applicable to sole proprietors, independent contractors, or basically a business who does not have payroll. We're going to be working through both of these applications. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to walk you through the Excel spreadsheet and then add in the numbers, show you how it ties into these numbers on the application. So the first item is going to be the PPP loan funding date. So that's going to be the disbursement date. That's going to be the date that the funds were deposited into your bank account. Your covered period is going to be 56 days after your deposit date. The next one is going to be your loan amount. So that's going to be the amount that was deposited into your bank account. And if you took out an EIDL advance, which is basically $1,000 per employee, that amount is going to go in that field here. So line 1 of this application for independent contractors, self-employed individuals, is going to be from your tax return, your 2019 tax return. It's going to be on the Schedule C, line 31. So for purposes of this example, our owner, Jane Doe, made $125,000. Now, owners are capped at 15.3% of their pay. So the max that you guys can take is going to be 15.3% of $100,000. So even though she made $125,000, the max that she can take is going to be 15.38% of the $100,000. So it's capped. Line 2 is going to be highly unlikely. There are very few business owners that have mortgage on a business loan. So we're going to go ahead and just put 0 here. Business rent or lease payments in the covered period. So this independent contractor actually had a rent expense of $500 a month. So we're covering 2 months. So it's going to be $1,000. And they had a few utilities. So line 5, total salary, hourly reduction. That's not going to be applicable to self-employed individuals without employees. That's going to be 0. And then the Excel spreadsheet is actually summing up line 1 through 5 to give us a subtotal of $16,584.62. So line 7, FTE reduction. That's going to be non-applicable to self-employed individuals without employees. So I have a note there. So you're just going to put in 1. Your line 8 modified total, that's just multiplying line 6 and 7. So we're multiplying the 16,584.62 by 1. And then line 9 is going to feed from whatever you put in this field here. So 26,041.67. And then line 10, they want us to multiply our payroll amount by the maximum amount of forgiveness. We're going to take line 1 and multiply it by 0.75 to give us 20,512.83. And line 11 is telling us they want to know what is the smallest of line 8, 9, and 10. So that was 16,584.62. And that is it as far as what's on the application. I went ahead and added one step more to this spreadsheet. If you took out an EIDL advance or a grant, then that's actually going to reduce your forgiveness amount. So I went ahead and added a field here that's taking whatever our forgiveness requested amount is and reducing it by the EIDL. So now our forgiveness amount is going to be 15,584.62. So I want to know as an accountant, and probably you want to know as a business owner, how much your loan is actually going to be. So if we take our PPP loan amount and we subtract it by what we're requesting as forgiveness, that's going to give you what your potential loan is going to be. Now, guys, this is so important. You need to do this well in advance. Don't wait 2 days before your covered period is over to do this, because if you do it with enough time in advance, we can actually use these numbers and help you as business owners to make educated decisions for your business. So what I like to do is I like to review these numbers with my clients and say, hey, there's a potential of a $10,000 loan. What do we need to do? What would you like to do? And here are your options. So for this client, their options are you can either pay back the $10,000, or if you're planning on expanding your business and you have plans to hire someone down the road, how about we take a look at your finances and maybe we can hire that person now so we can take advantage of this money. So planning is going to be so important for you guys. Don't wait till the last minute to get started. Start now. Start looking at this information, and potentially we can add an employee to this company, a W-2 employee, and pay them a pretty good salary during this time and maximize the loan that was received. Because the way that the SBA and the banks are doing these loans and giving out these loans, 90% of individuals that receive these loans are gonna have to pay something back. Mathematically, it's impossible for business owners to be able to write off 100% of the loan on payroll because of the cap and the way that these loans were calculated. So that's it. That's all I had for this spreadsheet. Now I wanna show you how we can take these numbers and move it to our PPP forgiveness application. I want to go through page 3. Page 1 and 2 are just instructions. So let's head over to page 3. So Jane Doe is the borrower. If you have a DBA, go ahead and put that name there. Add in your business address, your EIN if you have one. If not, add your social security number, your phone number, who the primary contact is, the email, your SBA PPP loan number here. Want to add in your loan amount and the PPP loan disbursement date. That is the date that you received the funds, the date that they were deposited into your account. Now, this line here, this has been tricky. When this application first came out, there were a lot of accountants that were saying that you would put a 1 here, but that is actually not correct. In my opinion, there are no employees for a self-employed individual. Employees are anyone that would be considered a W-2 employee. So employees at the time of this loan for self-employed individuals is actually going to be 0. Employees at the time of the forgiveness application is going to be 0 unless you hired a W-2 employee and are paying employer taxes and all of that fun stuff associated with employees. The EIDL advance amount is going to go here. Your EIDL application number. And then as far as the payroll schedule, self-employed individuals are not on a payroll schedule. So I am recommending that you put other and then just type in self-employed. Your covered period you can get from your spreadsheet. So it's going to be 5/1 through 6/26. The alternate payroll is only going to be applicable to people that have employees and have a payroll schedule. All right, if borrower received PPP loans in excess of $2 million, click here. So in our example, we did not. And then you can just take the line 1 through 11 and just plug it on your application. So payroll cost is going to be $15,000. We didn't have any mortgage interest. We did have rent, which was $1,000. We had utilities, which was $200. This FTE adjustment is going to be 0. Line 6 is going to be $16,584.62. Line 7 is going to be 1. Line 8 is going to be $16,582.62. And then line 9, $26,041.67. And again, we're just basically using the numbers we've already calculated and just plugging them into this application. Line 10 is going to be line 10 from here. And then line 11 is going to be $16,584.62. So that's basically it. Like I said, I literally took the information from here and created a spreadsheet to make the math automated. Okay. So page 4 of this application, you're going to have to read the information, read it completely, and then initial. You want to have your signature on this line and the date, print your name, and then your title. Your title can be owner, it can be self-employed. Page 5 are the instructions for Schedule A. So for self-employed individuals, this part here and this part here are not gonna be applicable to you. So where it's applicable to you is under compensation to owners. So total amount paid to owner employees, self-employed individuals. This amount may not be included in PPP Schedule Worksheet A. So I'll show you what that is in just a second, Table 1 or 2. If there is more than one individual, attach a separate table that lists, okay. So we only have one individual, and this number, line 9, is going to be the line 1 from our spreadsheet or line 1 from page 3, okay? So it's basically how much money did the total amount that was paid to the owner. So $15,584 because that's our max. And then line 10 is going to be adding up line 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Since only line 9 is applicable to us, we're just going to plug in that number there. And then line 13, we're just going to add a 1. So the reason why I skipped line 11 and 12 is because it says if you have not reduced the number of employees or the average paid hours of your employees between Jan 1 and the end of the covered period, click here. So since we're the owner, we're just going to skip and just enter a 1. All right, PPP worksheet. So this worksheet is not applicable to you guys, self-employed individuals. This is only applicable to employers that have employees. So we can skip worksheet A. And that is it. We went through all 11 pages. This is just definitions on page 11. Like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again because it's so important, don't wait till the last minute to do this application. I want you guys to have an understanding of where you stand as far as your potential loan amount, so you can maximize these funds and grow your business. It has not been easy for self-employed individuals, especially with the way these loans were set up. You are set up to have a loan at the end of your covered period. So maximize your amount or be prepared to return the funds that you did not use. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe, share it with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.